Well, welcome, everyone. Greetings. Wow, there's already five people on mic. Greetings, everyone. We're so happy to be here today. And, it's a good thing to give thanks unto Yahweh and to sing praises unto his name. Things happen, but we still go on. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you today. I want to say great greetings to yes, Pastor Jackie, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. We are rejoicing over here um, because of life, health, and strength, and that we're here with you. And we're just excited about he's not even a guest, but our longtime brother, Brother Mike, being with us today and the conversation that we're going to have. One of the things that we want to do at some point, I was telling Mike, is to have like a panel of people that have been through some type of cancer and have been big, has overcome it. So today we're talking about, let me get it right, multiple myeloma. Did I say it right? All right, let's get started. So, my name is Leslie Montgomery, and you are tuned into LKM Kingdom Living, Leslie's Lessons Learned. And I'm just so honored. I thought about it today, and how many so many people I know that have started and no longer doing it, and that we're still being consistent, Minister Wanda, being here, loving on people, letting them know that we love them and that we just want to see them succeed. And we don't want them to succeed just one time. We want them to consistently, what is it? Consistently
Succeed.
thank you very much. Thank you,
You're
thank you, thank you. But we're not gonna I'm not gonna take long, but I am gonna do my mirror. Mr. Wanda's gonna do what she do, and we're going to get started. When I look in the mirror and when I think about just the what I see or what I even think, a lot of times it's really not about the makeup of who, that makes me. It's not the makeup, but it's who made me. It's Yahweh that made me. So the reflection that I want to show is beyond the makeup. I want to show that I want him to show, not me. I want him to show in my life. When you look in the mirror, don't look in the mirror and say, "Is life worth living?" Because it is. If you have the opportunity to think that and to sit back and wonder that, I want you to know you're here for a reason and a purpose, and that your reason and your purpose has a destiny and your destiny has a purpose. There's purpose in life for you today. And we just want you to remember that. So we speak, I was thinking about. I said I'm going to start saying what I said I was going to start saying. I don't even see it now, but we do episodes here, and that's what it is. It's episodes of life. We talk about faith, we talk about destiny, we talk about healing and so many different aspects of healing. We talk about relationships, we talk about having a closer relationship with the Father, and that's the main goal here, is that you understand that his arms is wide open, and that he's excited that you're still alive. He's excited that you're moving from just existing to being profitable to the kingdom. What do I mean by that? You're not sitting around saying, "Is life worth living?" No, you're not anymore, because you know without a shadow of a doubt that your life is worth living. Minister Wanda, how you doing today?
you know what? I am doing wonderful today. I am so happy to be here uh, with you two beautiful people. Brother Mike, and you, Prophet Leslie. And you know what? For real, I am happy. I'm elated that I woke up this morning and I have another day at life. And perhaps somebody might not be feeling that way this morning. And like you said, Miss Leslie, they might be thinking, is life worth living? I want you to know life is worth living. And there is a saying that we like to say here that a life without you is like a world without color. Can you imagine just a gray, plain, everything looking the same, drab world? And that's what it would look like without you. So I want everybody to say it with me. A life
A
without
life
me
without me,
is like a world without color.
like a world without color.
Just in case you might not have had the gumption on the inside of you to say it. I'm going to say it for you. Listen, pay attention. A life without you, yeah, you, it's like a world without color. Your purpose has, or your destiny has purpose, and we want you to fulfill your destiny. Now, you might be wondering, who's this lady talking to me? Well, my name is Wanda L. Floyd. I am a licensed professional, been licensed for 31 years. I am a certified hair loss trichologist. I'm an educator. I'm a trainer. I do some things in ministry. Basically, I'm all hair, life, and ministry. That's who I am. Prophet
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a good thing. And one of the other things that I like to say is about that video where the man was sitting on the side of the road and he had a sign that said, "I'm blind. Can you help me?" A young lady walks by, comes back. She has a pen in her hand or a marker, and she turns it over and she says, "It's a beautiful day, but I can't see it." How many of us are in that predicament? You might not be blind physically, but because you're blind spiritually and everything is blocking, Minister Wanda was talking about color and how your color means so much. But if you can't see the beauty in who you are, if you can't see the beauty in where you are, if you can't see the beauty in your atmosphere, your surroundings, it could be chaos. Think about that man blind. He can hear the footsteps, he can hear the cars going by, but he couldn't see in his natural sense. And if you're in a place where you can't see and it seems like it's not beautiful, we had someone here today that has been there. He can tell you what that looks like. And I'm so excited for him to come on. He's been on a journey. And through his journey, we've been tracking him, following him, and we like, rah, 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 go, Mike, go, Mike. And I told him, I said, Mike, why people calling me to see if you coming on instead of see if I'm coming on? But we want to welcome you today, Mike, and just tell us a little bit about yourself so we can go ahead and get started because it's going to be a great segment.
Well, thank you, Leslie, Wanda. I appreciate you guys for having me on again. It seems like I've always been around,
You
but
have
yeah,
from the
I
beginning.
mean, this has been going on for a while, and it seems like just yesterday that we were in the process of just working through the technical stuff and getting started. But congrats to you and Wanda for continuing to do this. This is
Thank
this is
you.
awesome.
Yahweh be praised.
Yeah, yeah.
Yahweh be praised.
But a little about me. Of course, my name is Michael Cullen. The middle name is Cullen Johnson. I
That's a
go
whole
out.
story by itself.
That's a whole story. Yeah. So people have seen me online as Michael Cullen, Mike Cullen. Um, People that I've grew up with, know me as Michael Johnson or Mike Johnson. And somewhere in the middle, in the midst of all of this, I thought it was a great idea to, really kind of separate myself from just Mike Johnson. Um, I still am Mike Johnson, and I'll let my parents know, and they looking like, "Hey, who's Michael Cullen?" Still the same person, but I have now incorporated that entire name because I don't want to let the Johnson part go. Um, but as a kid, I was ashamed of my middle name, so I didn't really share my middle name. And then
I didn't like mine either.
right,
Me either.
right,
That's
yeah, I hear that. I never talked about my middle name when people, would see my middle name. It'd be like, well, who's that? And as I got older, my whole backstory of not knowing my dad, and when I finally met my dad at 37, I discovered that his middle name was Cullen, and he eventually passed. But as I look back, I was like, well, really good person. We had some unfortunate times, and not me just not knowing him, but I felt that it would be a good way to honor him by using that middle name a lot more, not being afraid of it, not being ashamed of it. So,
Mm.
hence the middle name. But the backstory of and the reason I'm here is, the journey of multiple myeloma. In 2022, I was diagnosed with, I think the doctor had told me stage two of stage three multiple myeloma. Um, and I also had kidney disease and a whole bunch of other things that I was dealing with that kind of went hand in hand with the multiple myeloma. But diagnosed in 2022, just off of a random physical. And I shouldn't say random, it was planned. My wife had planned it. I,
Who is your wife? I didn't hear you say anything about who your wife
right,
is. I didn't want to stop you, but
right.
since you
right.
Let's
said
not
my
get
wife, I need you to talk about her for a
She
minute
may
and
be
say what
watching. So
she
yeah, let
does.
me get this right. So my wife is Alicia Johnson, the creator and owner of Always Journal, which later turned into AJ 365, which is now the 1212 community.
Right.
So yeah, Alicia Johnson. That's my better half.
Amen.
Yeah, and so yeah, she had scheduled physicals for us because we were in the process of changing doctors. So she, set all that up. I went in, just expecting to get a physical. Because I think it had been a couple years since I had got one. And when I went in, I was feeling fine. I was still, doing all the things, exercising. I was running. I was either running, cycling, or walking 50 to 60 miles per week and feeling good. I had felt that, I was at a place where health and mindset and all those other things were like at a great level because my wife and we had spent maybe the prior 10 to 15 years just battling, you know, through marriage stuff with the kids and with our stuff. And we came out of that and we had finally got to the place where everything was good. We had no problems. We loved being in each other's company and just spending a lot of time together. And I just, I look at it, I call it good time. We were in the good times.
Your messes, misses, and
Yeah,
miracles.
yeah. So yeah, we had been through the messes in the mirror and the messes and the misses, and I thought we were in good times. I thought that was the miracle phase, and discovered years after that was just the beginning. And so I went in to get my physical, and the way physicals are done now, you go in, you talk to the doctor, she sends you out to get your lab work. She just kind of looked me over briefly. I think in a month or so, I came back and she had the lab results. You had to do a urine test and all those other things. And then, she sat me down and kind of went over everything. And she's, told me at that point that my blood pressure was off of the charts, which I had no idea. I had no idea my blood pressure was out of control because I felt fine. Like I say, I was still running,
Wow.
you know, walking, riding. I was cycling at least I say 50 to 60 with all combined, but I was every weekend cycling at least 30, 40 miles.
So you look good.
Yeah,
You
I was looking good. I was feeling good. I was
feeling good.
great. Yeah,
Home is amazing now.
yeah,
You and wife are like this.
yeah,
We everything to your knowledge is amazing. It's going well.
exactly.
We going in for this physical.
Yeah,
Up this no problem. I'm cycling, running 50, 60 miles, you know, taking care of myself mentally. I'm good. So this is gonna be a breeze. We're gonna do what we normally do for physical, and it's good.
yeah.
But the thing about it, wait, Mike, you get
Mhm.
Alicia says she never makes this appointment, and the Lord told her to make an appointment for her and Mike.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, is the doctor you're talking about the eye doctor or the doctor that diagnosed you? Because then you say you go to the eye doctor, that doctor says you need to.
Yeah. So prior to the physical, I went to the eye doctor, and that was just my yearly exam. And as I was doing that, he looked at my eye, and he let me know that, hey, I see a little, I think he said blood or something behind my eye. They had this machine that they could actually look at your eye in like a 3D way. And he said, "Hey, not a major concern, but you may want to set up a doctor's appointment just to have that checked out." Again, I didn't think anything of it. I made a note of that, but I didn't think about it again. So the doctor that Alicia had scheduled us for was my primary care physician. She did not diagnose me, but she knew well enough to looking at my numbers to see that something was going on. Um, Matter of fact, when you have multiple myeloma, one of the things that they look at is your protein levels. Your what do they call it? Um, my forgot the proper name of it, but I had high protein in my urine. So that was one of the things that she looked at and pointed out, and it concerned her to the point where she that same day made me an appointment or wrote a script for me to go see an oncologist. The crazy thing is, at that time, I know what cancer is, of course, but I did not put oncology with cancer at that time for some crazy reason. So when she wrote it, I'm like, oh, okay, let me go. And it didn't dawn on me until I walked into the office. And I'm like, hold on, this is a cancer doctor. And again, still at that time, I'm like, oh, no bet, because I don't have that. And that's what I was. That's the program I was running in my mind. So sat down with the oncologist. He went over my numbers, and I was sitting there on the table, and he just started running off things, and it all became serious when he told me, um, I just want to rule out some things. And he said, this could be this. I forgot what he told me. He said it could be this, or it could be cancer. And I'm like, cancer? Or, maybe he didn't say cancer. He said multiple myeloma. And even at that time, I still, there was this thing that, yeah, I don't have that. You know, you can
Mhm,
do all of your
mhm.
testing, but I don't have that because again, I was feeling fine.
Well, now were
So
you by yourself? Was Alicia with you at this appointment?
no, I was by myself. I was by myself, and it didn't dawn on me until um, I think after that appointment, I went straight from there to get some X-rays done. There's a lab like right next door to where his office is, and he sent me in, and they did like a complete bone scan, and he was just trying to rule out these other things. I want to say in a week, I went back, and again, I was by myself, and he started to, you know, kind of break it down even further. And he told me that, hey, I'm 95% certain that this is multiple myeloma. And that's when it became serious to me. That's when you know I I woke up in many ways. That's when, if you have someone shake you, that's when I was shook. That's when I really felt like the seriousness of this. But still, there was me that had that 5% chance that that may not be it.
Can you tell us a little bit about when you went back, got the results, then went and had the x rays? What was that conversation like with you and Alicia? Because I know I can hear her. So what the doctor say, Mike? What
So
was that conversation like?
I think still at that time I was, I can't say nonchalant with it, but I was, kind of, as a matter of fact, the doctor had said this, I'm not even, believing that because I don't feel that. And I think that's one of the things that, with multiple myeloma and other cancers as well, what we think cancer is not what it is.
Mm.
And I found out later that with multiple myeloma, it could be a pain in your foot, and that's an indicator. It could be a pain in me, maybe it was a pain in my back or a pain in my legs. And because I was doing all of those things, the running, the cycling, the walking, and on a large scale, I thought nothing of it. I would come home and just roll it out. I would use my massage gun and I would stretch and do all of those things because I just knew that anything done, it was because of all the miles I was doing. But the conversation with Alicia was, I let her know what the doctor said, and I told her that, hey, I'm going back to, talk to him again in a week. But again, I wasn't concerned. So because I wasn't concerned or I didn't show concern, I'm sure she was not really concerned about it as well. So after going back, I sat there in the chair, and if you ever been in a situation, and we all have it, where it's like your life changes. You can feel that shift in your life. It's like I'm sitting on the table and he tells me this, and then he starts to go through like the details of it and what the treatment is going to be and all this. And I'm sitting there, but it's like I'm having this out of body experience. I'm listening to him, but I'm envisioning like, oh wow, that that can't be me. And I'm just trying to envision, okay, so how much longer do I have to live? I'm running all of these questions down in my head. And I remember, after that appointment, going back home, and it was the longest drive ever. I think, we're probably 15 minutes away from the doctor's office. And it seemed like it took me an hour because, I'm driving,
In
but
a daze.
yeah, I'm in a daze. And I'm driving this car, and it really was just the subconscious that was driving the car because I'm like everywhere else except sitting in this driver's seat. I got home and I told Alicia what was going on, and you know, I think I laid down and just slept for the next couple hours because I could not believe how my life had changed in just a drop of that, just like that. So very difficult time. I'm not going to bore you all with all of the details, but I was diagnosed the actual day, the final part of that diagnosis was received on November the 18th when I think right before that, I had a bone marrow biopsy. And that's when you go in and they stick this metal rod right into your spine. And, they pull out, I guess, a piece of the bone marrow and they send it off and do the results and get the results and everything. That was the final piece. That was the final 5%. That was the last part that he needed to say, hey, we need to move forward with the uh, the treatment.
Yeah.
So
So I just want you to know, Alicia said, don't play her small. She said she was on the phone while she was at work. She just want us to know, don't play her small while you doing your conversation. But Mike, um, it it was at a time when a lot of things was going on, getting ready for the conference, and you guys just had a lot of things going on,
Mm.
and to come to a halt. Well, you came to a halt, but you didn't. You guys kept moving. You guys kept, trying to stay focused through it all. And even though it was hard, you guys did accomplish a lot, even through the process. So, you found out you had it. You slept because I I could imagine that when you're in that fog, first of all, that drains you. And it was probably nothing much you could do but go home and sleep.
Yeah.
You had now, so now things shift. When I say seems, did things shift to where you start feeling it? Remember, you said you was feeling good and you was cycling and all these things, and then reality hit. But before you say that, I do want to greet everybody that's on here. I want to say thank you so much for being here. If you had not hit the like sign, subscribe, or share, please do that. And I see that my Horace, that my hair Solanus is on, and I want to say welcome to him for being here. Yeah, Alicia, she did cry, and I remember saying, "Oh my God, did something happen to him?" The it's kind of like you can tell the story, but you really can't tell the story without the two of you telling the story.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Susan is part of
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'm wondering too. Yeah, I kind of wish he was here. Um, were you mad, Mike? Were you like, you know, why me? You know, all that. Because, I heard you say, well, how long I got to live? See, that's why I know this is not a good thing. And I'm going to go, like, I don't want to go to the doctor because you go in there and then you come back out with something else. Now, I was fine till I went to the doctor. Then I got this diagnosis. And
Yeah.
now suddenly you feel every bit of it, right? But
Oh, yeah.
I'm wondering, were you
This is the Wanda thing. This is Minister Wanda, everybody.
Wanda? This
Don't
not
say
y'all.
from the
Don't listen
doctors
to
because
me. Don't listen to me. But what? How were you went to bed emotionally? Were you mad? Were you mad at God, Elohim? Were you like, why me? Why now? What was going through your heart and your mind?
Yeah, I can't say I was mad at God, but I was definitely questioning, like why why me? Because I really felt that I was doing all of the things that I needed to do to really live the life that I wanted to live. And I think that's the one thing that, we all know, through our faith is that, you know, how we see things is not how things are going to go necessarily. So I laid in that bed for 3 days, pouting and all of the things.
Oh,
And
yeah. It's real.
after that, it was like, hey, look, the diagnosis is the diagnosis. Now you can sit here or lie here and rot your life away, crying and moaning about what is, where you can get up and use what is to gain power. And it wasn't, I said it easy, but it wasn't that easy. That process has taken a couple years, I think, to get to that point. But I think getting up on that day was the start of us working our way back to where we are now. um, there's no cure for multiple myeloma, and I know that, and I'm reminded of that, like, often. When I still go into my doctor's monthly, or no, so I should say every 6 weeks, I go in to visit with my doctor. I still have a infusion every 3 months where I go in and they give me an infusion for bone health. I still take medication, 21 days on, 7 days off monthly. So I'm constantly reminded that you're still you're still living with this, you're still dealing with this. But that's the physical part. I know mentally I've been healed. Spiritually, I've been healed from that. But again, I think over the years I've been able to really just take all of the stuff that came along with that and turn it into power. And yeah, I can't state enough how big Alicia has been, and as I can't state enough how our friends, our community has been a part of this healing. Because it's a physical healing, but it's also a mental healing. So me getting up on that third day was was mainly mental. And yes, when I woke up, I was still feeling fine, but I think over the next month or 2 months, I started to feel those aches and pains, because it was in my mind that you have cancer. And
That shift.
yeah, yeah. And slowly but surely I started to feel it in my legs. I know there was one time I went running and, discovered that I couldn't really even run no more. I 50 yards to 100 yards, and it was like it felt like I had ran a mile. I started feeling stuff in my back. I started feeling stuff in my shoulders, because that's where they had discovered the multiple myeloma, like in my shoulder blades and in my lower back. So, yeah, after that, a lot of appointments. Um, you know, uh, I was stuck more times than I can imagine over the last couple years. And, I think at the same time, because Alicia and I had did the work to completely change our marriage around, because I had did the work, with the fact that I did not know my dad, and that was a big scar in my life. I had did like the forgiveness work on that over time. And, I had been with a community that really helped me grow as a man. And I think just that training, the training of cycling, understanding how difficult cycling can be, with the amount of miles that I was doing, all of that combined really, I think, sharpened, if that's a good word, or prepared me for the journey of getting through this. Because after he had told me what the treatment plan is, I'm sitting there like, yeah, I don't know if I can go through with this. I had to do 4 or 5 months of chemotherapy, and then I had to have a stem cell transplant. And of course, at the time, I had no idea what that meant or what that looked like. But I just, I could not believe that I had reached that point and I was about to go through like one of the hardest times in my life. Like I said, like you said, Pastor Wanda or Minister Wanda, um, everything from what I had saw, well, we were in good time. Everything was great, and then it's like everything was turned upside down. Um, but I truly believe that things like that happen for a reason.
Absolutely.
And for me, over the years, I can sit here today and tell you that because of multiple myeloma and the fact that I went through all that I went through to get here today,
Mhm.
it has gave me like pinpoint. It gave me a sense of pinpoint purpose. I know exactly why I'm here. I
Yeah.
know exactly what I'm here to do now. And, as you had said before when we had started, a life without you is a life without color. And that was me for most of that time prior to being diagnosed. My life was without color
Wow.
because I was here, but I wasn't here. I didn't really know what I was here to do. And, you know, it's unfortunate that I got multiple myeloma, but again, I'm blessed now to know that, yeah, I have it, but I know what I'm here to do now. It's colored. Everything's colored in now for me. I know
Yep.
exactly why I'm here. Um, and it is basically to cycle for raising awareness for multiple myeloma and I didn't mention this, Leslie, I apologize, but I also do videography, um, and other things. But my purpose is also to use my camera and all of my gifts to, in exchange for fundraising, for multiple myeloma and for cancer in general. Because, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, But
That's good.
I have a ride that I'm doing in November for multiple myeloma, but I'm committed to doing similar things for other cancers in the future.
I love
So
that.
let me play because there's two videos I want to play. So I want to play the first one here, and then at the end play the other one as you're shifting into your purpose. And I want to play this first one. I hope this is the right one. Yeah.
There's so much power and strength inside of all of us. We all want to live our lives in a way that has meaning and has impact.
Road to Victory is multiple days of camaraderie. It is a celebration. It is a team that is using cycling to fundraise and raise awareness for multiple myeloma research. 30
Not the right one. I just realized when I heard it talk. Sorry about that. I
You must have known I was already starting to cry.
think it's this one. It wants to. Okay. Oh. If it ain't right this time, this is the one that's supposed to be played.
Yeah, that's right.
I think now this is the right one, right?
Yeah, I think that's
Okay.
yeah.
I'm competitive. I've always been competitive. I've done 5K runs, 10K runs, and Spartan races and different things like that. My wife had made doctor's appointments for both of us for just, yearly physicals. Doc did blood work. And when the blood work came back, she had indicated that there was something in my labs that didn't quite feel right or look right. She referred me to an oncologist, and he told me that, just based off of the test, he was 95% sure that I had multiple myeloma.
Okay, so it wants to keep up it.
So when he said that, of course, I was in denial because, I've pretty much lived a life in a way to safeguard myself from that stuff. Exercise, fitness, eating right, all of the things that you're supposed to do. I immediately started to have the thoughts and the feelings of, how long do I have to live? Is it a year? Is it 2 years? And it was a trying time. At that point, I went into the bedroom, took my clothes off, and got in the bed, and I think I slept for 2 or 3 days.
It's gonna keep upping.
Just hoping that I would wake up and discover that this was some wild dream. I remember laying in bed and hearing this voice in my head that said, "Get up from here, stop moping around. There's a lot of life to live. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of things that you need to do in this lifetime." When you say yes to your purpose or yes to like life and what you're supposed to be doing, the universe will align and introduce you to the people and take you to the places that you need to go to help you fulfill your dream or your purpose.
Stay on the shoulder, ride single file for that section.
It was December of last year that I had decided or had this idea of biking across the country, because I hadn't really been biking, after the diagnosis. Multiple myeloma was that guide for me that kind of took me by the shoulder and turned me around and pointed me in the direction that I should be going. Of course, no one wants multiple myeloma, but I think how it has shaped my life and how it has shaped my mindset and how I think. And I think the biggest thing with cancer or any other disease is developing that mindset that you can get through this.
Iron Mike Johnson.
Multiple myeloma has been one of the greatest blessings to me. My biggest job here on earth for the rest of my life is to share this message of myeloma and MMRF and how important the work of this organization is. There's so much to gain and understand when you really fully understand your power. We really are superheroes. We really are superheroes. And, for me, it has taken multiple myeloma to show me that. But we have so much inside of us, so much. We can pretty much do anything.
So, Mike, you want to tell us, first of all, you're already walking into victory. I want you to know that you're already walking into victory. I know the name of the organization is Road to Victory, which is good, which is fine, but you already have the victory. You're a walking miracle. The percentage of people that even come through that is not as big as people think it is, and you desired to bike across country. Last year you were in California. This in about 2 weeks you'll be. Is it 2 weeks? About 2 weeks you're gonna be in Death Valley cycling. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So last year was in the wine country. We started in the wine country, and then we kind of rode up the coastline of California, Northern California, through the redwood forest. This year we're doing the the ride. We're meeting in Vegas, but we'll be riding through Death Valley, which is a part or a section of the Mojave Desert. Probably in the summertime, one of the hottest places on earth, if not the hottest place on earth. Not quite that intense during the fall, but it is an area of extremes. So if it's not hot, sometimes it can be crazy windy when you have like dust storms and stuff like that. But it's November the 5th. I'll be heading out to begin that ride, and we'll be riding until the 9th. And just as like with last year's ride, I didn't really know what to expect. Didn't really know how to train. So I'm training the best I can here at home. But again, I'm just having complete faith and belief that just as with myeloma, God is going to bring me through this ride because there's a greater purpose for this. and that purpose is for raising money for awareness. Um, each year, 36,000 people are diagnosed with multiple myeloma. Um, each year, between 10 and 15,000 people succumb to multiple myeloma. And that's just multiple myeloma. There are other cancers. The other cancers are just as great. Um, somewhere I had wrote down, I was looking for it a moment ago. There's somewhere between 150 and 200,000 new cases of cancer, some type of cancer every year. And it is off the charts. So that kind of sparked my whole purpose and really helping and supporting in any way possible to not cure it, but to help make it easier. I often tell the story of how when I was going through my situation, how I was well into the therapy and I wasn't working. So Alicia was paying all of the bills, but we were really behind on our car payment. And it was so behind that we were receiving the calls from the lender saying, "Hey, we're coming to pick up your car. Just want to make sure that we have the right address and all these other things." It was that close. And we found and reached out to this organization. I want to say the name was Cancer Cartel. Three women who had lived through breast cancer and were dedicating their lives to assisting others. So they had all of these different grants and things that they were able to help with, and they helped us with a car payment or two to help bring us current. And as I look back on that today, it was like an angel in disguise because it was that thing that just lifted that little small bit of weight off of our shoulders. Because that's the last thing if you're dealing with treatments and chemotherapy, the last thing that you want to add on to that is stress. So it came at the right time for us. And that's exactly what I want to be able to do, for others who are diagnosed, because those numbers aren't changing every year with multiple 36,000. And I look back through the years and it's been steady. And in some cases it's increasing. But at the same time, the Multiple Myeloma Research Foundation has been a big part of not finding a cure. They're that's what they're working towards, making it where people are living longer with multiple myeloma. Back in the early 2000s, the expected time that you would live was like 5 years. I think 60 to 70% of people who had it were assured to live maybe 5 years. And now that, as we fast forward today, I think in 2018 or something like that, that number is up to 60% now. So, um, while we aren't there yet, there is hope that over the next several years to a decade, that there will be a cure for it. Um, for me, it's so uh, I guess powering to know that there is a company or organization out here working towards a cure. Where I had the stem cell transplant back in 23, no, yeah, 23, July of 23, and here it is, October 25, and I'm still. They don't call it remission, but they say that they don't have any traces of myeloma, and I know
You
that.
know what it is.
Yeah, yeah,
We know the right term.
right,
Healed. That's what that is.
yeah,
We healed. And
yeah,
being made whole. That's what that is.
yeah. So it is definitely, the work that they're doing is trending in a direction where people are able to live longer with multiple myeloma, and it's becoming more manageable. Um, you know, where back in the early 2000s there was only one treatment for it, and once that stopped working, there was nothing else for you to go to. You were pretty much just living out the rest of your life at that point. Now we're in a phase where You have to start with the stem cell transplant, but there are other things that they can do. There are other therapies. There's a CAR T, which is a big one now, that a lot of people are getting and living much longer and normal lives from. So that's why I ride. Of course, the stubborn or selfish part of me would want to ride so I can find a cure for myself. But I know deep down inside that I may never live that long to see a cure. I don't know how far they're away, but I know that I can ride today to help the enrichment of other people's lives that come behind us, our kids, our grandkids, our nieces and nephews, um, those who will be diagnosed years from now. Because that's exactly what the people in the early 2000s. I mean, they were, going through the process, but they didn't have the cure. Um, and I'll be 56 in, I guess, a month from now, a little over a month. And again, and I don't say this in any way, to, I guess, limit myself, but we have no idea how long we're going to live. And I take that to bed with me every night, and I wake up with power and enthusiasm, just as, hey, I can only worry about today. I can only worry about today.
I love that.
So
Always worry about today. I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
There was scripture you had on your shirt,
Mm,
Genesis 50 and 20.
hmm.
And it says, "But as for you, you thought evil against me,
Right.
but Elohim meant it unto good. He meant it unto good
Yeah.
to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive."
Yeah.
And something that could have been so detrimental to others, like you said, we really are superheroes. You took that after Yahweh kind of shook you and told you, get up from here. You,
Yeah.
you've got much life to live. And
Yes.
you didn't ignore that. You said, all right, let's do this. And he walked with you through it, along with your wife and friends and family and community, keeping you and out of something that looked scary and uncertain. You found your destiny,
Yeah.
which walked you straight to your purpose. I'm so grateful for you today.
No,
I'm grateful for you to share your story. I'm grateful to see what you're doing to bring awareness to something that, honestly, Mike, if you hadn't had it, I wouldn't have known anything about it. Right?
yeah.
And so there's all what we have to take from this is that everything we go through has purpose. That's all Prophet Leslie has been saying since she started this show. Leslie's lessons learned.
Yeah.
And while it might not look favorable, while it might not feel good, while it might be hurtful, if we allow it, it will walk us straight to our purpose. And I'm grateful for your story.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, like I said before, it was definitely the catalyst, for me and what I believe and how I feel today. Um, I still get on this bike, and it's sitting right here. I still get on this bike, and I'm training, and I'll do this ride this year because I know there's power within me. There's the same power that brought me through all of that, all of those treatments and all those other things, the same power that took me from a child to a young adult, not knowing his dad, the same power that allowed or shaped my life after the mess and the misses that were in my marriage. It's the same power. It's the same power. And I think once we recognize that the worst case scenarios in our life is sometimes the setup for us. And those are the things that will give us that power that we need to accomplish the things that we're here to do. Um, The other thing that I wanted to say is because you had said you would have never heard of multiple myeloma, and it was the same with me. I had never heard of it. Um, Matter of fact, when the doctor had told me about it, did not I did not equate it to be a cancer. I didn't think it was cancer. Um, but at the same time, I found out over the years that African Americans are affected by multiple myeloma more than twice than others. Other ethnic groups, and which to me is shocking. I think there are so many people, the people who are diagnosed, and I found through a friend of mine that I met last year on last year's ride. His dad was diagnosed and passed with multiple myeloma, but his dad lived majority of his last days with them trying to figure out what was going on. They didn't know. I think he just had, like I said, he had like a simple symptom. Maybe it was a backache or something like that, or you had this pain in your shoulder, and he was going to the doctor and they just could not figure out what was going on. I'm so blessed that I had a doctor that was, um, I shouldn't say smart enough, but was aware enough to look at those numbers and say, "Hey, I'm going to send you to a specialist because there's something going on with your numbers, and he can tell you." And I think a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, and I said in the beginning, cancer doesn't, it's not what we think it is in many cases. It doesn't show up the way we think it would show up. Um, and, that's the part of the awareness that I really want to let people know that, that little thing that you're dealing with, go get it checked out because it could be much more than, putting ice or heat on it. Um, So yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate Leslie for having me on and not ending the call, Leslie, but I thank you for this opportunity to share all of this because these are things that I've had on the inside of me for the last couple years, and so blessed to be in a space mentally and physically that I could share this, because it's important. Um, you know, I I'm working on t-shirts and doing some other things, but I want to share the message with people that, you know, we don't have to, and I'm huge on I'm not fighting cancer. I'm not fighting it,
Amen.
I'm defying cancer. And I think there's a big difference, because I could spend all of my days and all of my time, fighting against something that I can't necessarily control. Cancer's gonna do what it does, but it will not stop me from getting on my bike. It will not stop me from sitting on here and talking and sharing the goodness that I found inside of this.
Yeah.
So
That's good. I hope that you're able to see. Posh put the link in the chat, but I haven't seen it yet, so
Yeah.
you don't see it either.
No.
So let me see. But I want to play Mike's video. Thank you, Mike. And Alicia said something. We have been talking about doing like a panel to discuss this, and she was saying that she was going to see if she could get them to come on to 1212. And I don't know if she'll be willing to share them with us and then have them come on to Leslie's Lessons Learned too. I think that that would be great. We do need to
Yeah.
share more uh, of
Awareness.
different, not just so much cancer, but we're talking about cancer right now. People that have overcome situations as far as different ailments, I'm gonna say, and wasn't able, and they seen their counterparts not make it.
Yeah.
They made it because of Yahweh. And they know it was His grace and His mercy that had allowed them to come this far. So, Mike, I'm gonna play the video. It's not gonna let me.
Given when you don't got it is a challenge. I've been in that boat. I totally understand. But on the other hand, I've been given the assignment to raise awareness and raise funds for not only people who have been diagnosed and who are living with multiple myeloma, but for people who have been diagnosed with cancer, any other cancer. I know firsthand what that life is like. It's rough. When you're diagnosed, all of the treatments and things that you have to go through is endless. So what I'm doing is using my gift of video, my gift of photography in exchange for donations. If it's a situation where you're a business owner or you're someone who's looking to get out content, you're looking to tell a story, I'm here to use my camera in exchange for a small donation to organizations that support cancer patients. Right now, I'm currently in a campaign for multiple myeloma, but going forward, I'll be doing this for other cancers. So, again, trust me, I understand the fact that giving is difficult when you don't got it. I'm trying to really just make that a little easier for those who may be on the fence, for those who want to give, but also need a service in return. So looking ahead, I know right now October is for me kind of booked up, but I do have one, possibly two slots open in October. If you're looking to donate and need a service, let me know. November is kind of open. So I'll be looking to take on 3, possibly 4 jobs in exchange for donations. But yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Anyhow, let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Reach out and we can jump on a call.
Thank you. Yes, wants to stay play.
So some are wanting to know how can they support Mike. Some of us might want to know how do we book that session with you, and we have to come to you. How does that work? What can we do, or can we just donate?
Oh yeah, you can definitely donate. I've started receiving donations. So my goal for this ride in November is $5,000. And there's you can my so my website is michaelcullen.net, and you can go there. There's a link for the Road to Victories ride on that page. You could also from that same website book time with me to talk about a project that you may have that you want to get done in exchange for donations. Or you could just um, direct message me on Facebook. Um, I, again, I'm open um, to just talking to people about what their needs are and assisting. So, um, however you feel is the best way to reach out, um, you can do that. I'm still on Facebook. I'm not there a lot, but you can DM me on Facebook.
Great, thank you. So if Alicia or someone can put Mike's website, there it is. I see it. Thank you. And then you can also, if you're following him on Facebook, you can, if you have a project that you are looking to do or need photography done, you can reach out to him on Facebook as well. I have 2 projects, Mike, that I'm thinking about
Okay.
discussing with you. One deals with hair loss, uh, women, children, and men. And then the other one is dealing with a child with ADHD. So
Mm,
I have a
okay.
couple of projects that I'm going to reach
Okay.
out to you about. So thank you so much for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's like I said before, it just years ago I would have never been, saying, okay, I'm going to do work in exchange for donations, but it makes so much sense to me now. Yeah, we all need money, but at the same time, life and providing life for those who really need it, life and support for those who really need it is critical. It is really critical. So
Yeah. Well, thank you. Both the links are in there. Please reach out to him. I know that Mike is getting busy now. He said, I don't have anything else left for October, but I might have 2 appointments left.
well, well, I only say that because I'm preparing for this ride in November, and time is really of the essence. I can't be totally out of shape going out there.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, so I'm allocating a lot of my time to that. Plus, I have a couple projects that I'm still working on. So, um, yeah,
And .net. I put .com.
yeah, .net.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm getting help. Oh, is it Michael Collins or Mike?
MichaelCullen.net. I just put it out there too. Well, no,
Oh, did
I put it in.
you?
I put it in.
Where? For some reason, everybody's stuff is not coming through.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
saying it's not allowed for some reason. It's not allowing you to post the website on YouTube, and that's not usually the case.
No.
Yeah,
Hmm.
there it is. I see.
Okay. So I think I got it right. So thank you, Mike. We are going. What I got?
You got it right the last time.
Um, um, I am. We are going to really get and do something. It won't be the 9 o'clock. It will be the um, probably like a Sunday 5 o'clock session where you others could come and tell their testimonies as well. And let me just share this right quick. This did it come across? Okay. Everybody wanted to know. Uh, is it going to bring up? But I'll put it in the chat as well, where you can donate. Um, I just wanted to put that up. He is making progress. The story is there, and you can go there as well. So, gonna say thank you, Mike, for
Thank you.
being willing to share your story to help someone else. It's vitally important that we understand
The other,
that.
if I can, Leslie, I wanted to also add, and I thought about this yesterday. As I train, I'm gonna go live on a few of those trainings,
Okay.
and
Okay.
yeah, I'll be almost like mini fundraisers. Well, I'll be asking people if you'd like,
Good idea.
as I train, you know, maybe commit $1 for each mile that I do. I usually, I set out to do 20 miles. It's not always 20 miles. Some days it's 5 miles, some days it's 10. Uh,
Yeah.
but I'll be going live and just asking people that, hey, if you'd like to help, you know, just commit to donating $1 for every mile I do.
I
Um,
think that's a great
so
idea.
I think I'll start doing that tomorrow. Just going live on Facebook or wherever, and just asking for support. Again, as you showed, it goes directly to MMRF, so there's no, I'm not a middleman in this whatsoever. It goes directly to them, and directly to the
The card.
yeah, to the cause.
Yeah.
So
So Tiffany put out here a reminder to check your fire alarm batteries. So I, I'm putting that up here. Check your what are they called? They're not
smoke.
fire
Fire
smoke
Smoke
detectors. Smoke
detectors. Yeah.
detectors.
Mine is
So
beeping, so that
Thank you for that little tidbit, Tiffany.
Now,
And
I do have a question,
go ahead.
Miss Leslie. The video you played. Where can we find that? Because I'd like to continually place that on my Facebook page. Where can I
Which
find
one?
the video where Mike was talking?
Talking.
Yeah, not the last one. The first video you played.
Uh-huh. That is on his page, but it's also in it takes you to what's that? YouTube.
Okay,
Let me
so
see.
it's a YouTube. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drop that here as well. I think I have it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll drop it here in the page.
You got it.
Yeah, let's see.
Here it is. I'll drop it. And
Thank
as you're on your right, we'll do snippets. It's gonna let me. Oh, okay. There it is. That's the video. So you have the video, you have the fundraiser, you have Mike's link to reach out to him, and don't forget he is offering kind of almost free services with a donation. He could put a tag to it and say, if you do this much, I'll do this for you, but he didn't. So even as we get him, let us be generous with what we do to help him. Thank you, Mike. This has
Thank
been
you.
good.
Thank
And
you.
until we see everybody again, have an amazing day. Please support and just keep looking out because there will be uh, um, a panel. I'm laughing at Posh talking to Tiffany. There will be a panel discussion where we go deeper into this. There's so many people out here that that need to know that there is hope. Need to know because a lot of times when people hear something about cancer, the first thing they go to is, "I'm gonna die." Like Mike was like, "How long am I gonna live?" Um, uh, all these different things, but in a perspective, like he said, there's a point in time for every man to die, and we don't know what that time is. So we have to keep living. You have to say, go past, is life worth living? And pick up the pieces and keep moving.
Absolutely.
So we love you. We appreciate you. And we just pray that the rest of your day is amazing. Have a blessed day.
Have a
Thank
wonderful
you,
Shalom.
brother.